Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I can breathe. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening.
Good morning, welcome to the center.
We miss you. Come down and see us.
I am preparing for potluck,
What you say?
cutting up the chicken
Potluck.
so everybody gets something.
All right. Great. Okay.
I'm getting ready to put dressing on a salad.
Okay.
I've already cut a cake, and
Okay.
we're just, Lois and I are here just waiting for people to bring in all their wonderful food for our potluck today.
Okay.
And welcome everyone.
Okay, well, good morning. I'm Genevieve, and I'm a singer here in Las Vegas. And I have been coming to this church singing for, I guess, 8 years. And I feel like I'm a member, but I'm really not. But I feel like I am. And I totally enjoyed every time I'm asked to come and just share my gift that God has given me. So have a wonderful 2018, and God bless you.
Years ago when as a high school graduate, you would go into
So let us begin this morning by relaxing into a comfortable sitting position with your back straight, your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands in your lap as you join them with both thumbs and the fingers on one hand, resting in those of the other hand. Now focus on your breathing. Let each breath unfold by itself, neither lengthening, nor expanding, nor deepening it. Allow your body to just breathe itself. Pay close attention to this miraculous breath. Notice its coming and its going. Allow yourself to feel settled as you continue to pay full attention to your body breathing itself. When you feel settled, allow a gentle smile to arise on your face. As you do this, notice how it softens all of your facial muscles and how breath by breath, this softening and relaxing moves further and further into your body, filling every cell. Soon, your whole body becomes a gentle, soft smile. Sit with this and simply be, moment by moment. I am still, without moving even my little finger. I feel a hush descend upon me. There is no place to go, nor to come from. I have arrived in this extraordinary moment where there's only stillness and silence. It fills all of my senses, and all things find their rest. Everything is one in this very deep connection, putting an end to us and them, and this against that. I do not move in these brief moments, for that would disturb this palpable presence. There is nothing to be said or done. And life takes me into its arms as a loving friend. Be this soft, gentle smile. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers and your toes and take a deep breath as you move back into this warm and loving and joyful space. And so, my God, with the deepest of gratitude, I recognize this Holy Spirit, this love, this light, this goodness, this power, this ever-present presence, this allness, this whole that is in and through everyone and everything. I'm so grateful to know this morning that as it is the whole, as it is all, it must be me. And it must be everyone in this space. It must be the space, it must be the place. All there is this power. And so from this place of unity with this goodness, this love, I speak my word today knowing that God is that goodness that is ever present all the time. I know that each person here is blessed, has all the good in their life multiplied, experiences the healing of the divine, the perfection, and prospers in love and relationships and financial affairs. All the good that God is right here, right now, fully available to each and every one here. And I know that everyone here wants that. And so as I open my heart to this goodness, this holiness, this love, this light, I know that everyone here chooses their own way and looks to God. I know that's so. And I'm so grateful to be in this place, in this space, to speak the truth this morning. I am so grateful for this center, so grateful for the love that it is, so grateful for the joy that expresses out of every heart here. I am so grateful for this service today, for the message that is the right and perfect word for each one of us. I'm grateful for the music that supports the word. I'm grateful for the musicians who deliver the music. I'm grateful for the children and the teachers who guide them in their spiritual growth. I am grateful for life, everlasting, for goodness. Thank you, my God, for all that God is today. Thank you for this seamless service, for the volunteers, for everything that goes on here today, because it is all in divine right order. And so for all of these blessings, for this truth, I am grateful. And from this place of gratitude and with absolute faith in the power of my word, I release it to that law of God, knowing that it is done right here and right now. And let us each say, and so it is.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Awesome. Look at those faces. They're so cute. Reverend Dan made reference to Dr. Annette Childs was here this weekend, and she's used to not having huge audiences. You know, I think it was like 25 of us here over the weekend, and if you know of anyone or you have family, whether you're the one that's afraid of death or you feel like they are, you spend the weekend with Annette Childs and you'll know that there is absolutely nothing to fear about death or dying. It is, a lot of the things we saw, it was this very spiritual experience, and it was so, I know there were people in the audience that were comforted, that have lost family members or, traumatically, and they were very comforted by the things that we learned this past weekend. So when she's here again, make it a point to come and check her out, okay? That's in order. Just so you know. Oh, geez. The screen says that I'm Reverend Cheryl Bell. I am co-senior minister along with my brother and sister, Reverend Stacy Hilton and Reverend Dan Jerome, and it is completely my pleasure to serve with them. They I can't even explain to you. I mean, it's hard to put into words how much I love those two people over there. So, I do. You know, it's been a tradition throughout Centers for Spiritual Living, and especially here at our center, and our mentor, Dr. Maura Fox Center, I know of those two at least, that at the beginning of the year we go back and we talk about the fundamentals of our teaching. Reverend Dan last week spoke about what is Science of Mind. It was a great talk, and if you didn't hear it, we do have some CDs. And if we don't, you can order one and you can get it next week. So normally what we do is talk about the first, I can't even say chapter, the first 4 sections of the Science of Mind textbook. And those of you who have been in classes or that have been coming a while know that the Science of Mind textbook starts on page 25. And the introduction, what I will call the introduction, ends on page 60. I know, and you know, if you come to class, you know about this stuff. You would, I promise. You know, see. It's written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science of mind. He, the first, actually 4 sections are, who knows them? They're what they're called. Reverend Stacy? What about you, Reverend Dan? I see you holding your head down. Oh my God. The thing itself, which is what we call God, or you can call it whatever you want, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. Now I know this is only the second week of the new year, but we're already at how to use it for me today. So that's what I will be talking about, is how to use it. And, you know, even though he wrote that first introduction and those first 4 sections, the rest of the book is really just to go into great detail about those first 4 sections. It's like he had to write an entire book to explain those things. You know, like every week we attempt to come up with a new way and a different way to tell you the same darn thing. To tell you that you are a divine expression in the mind of God and that you are wonderful and magnificent. So, what a task when you think about it. Because believe me, if you really thought about it, we are telling you the same thing every week. And I imagine those of you that come here love hearing that every week. It sounds a little different every week, and it's a different voice, but it's the same thing, I promise you. You know, in page 51 of our textbook, where How to Use It begins, it starts off, one of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. As a matter of fact, we only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. That which we cannot prove may or may not be true, but that which we can prove certainly must be and is the truth. That's it. We can go home now. There's also another little book, it's called the Beverly Hills Lectures. And what this is, and there are a few in the bookstore I believe, is Ernest Holmes and some of his friends on Wednesday evenings in January and February of 1952 got together and he talked about whatever struck his fancy. And that's what this is. That's all this is. So it's his talking in his living room on Wednesdays. On page 14 of this little book, it's a little quick read, it's a nice little book though. He talks about our movement. Our movement will depend not on a talk, such as I am giving you right now. Our evolution, what it will mean to the world, will not depend on the books we write. It will depend on what we do with it. It will depend on someone knowing enough about it to cause something to happen because of what he or she knows when he or she wants it to happen, where he or she wants it to happen, and in the way it ought to happen, according to her own volition, proving, I guess he too, proving that he or she is not subject to any whimsical caprice or outcome. Now, our minds are like gardens, and we must cultivate the thoughts and feelings that we desire, like we do flowers. I do not particularly have a green thumb. However, I do know how it's supposed to work, right? I know that I plant flowers that I want to experience, and which is the good thoughts I have. Now, I don't think anyone plants weeds, right? They just come up, and we must get rid of them, dismiss them as they come up. No one has ever planted a weed, and if you have, I would like to talk to you after service. As we turn our attention back to the garden, sorry for the little sidetrack, that we want to have, and keep our focus and our practice daily, and nurture the good, and it manifests. Again, in the Beverly Hills lecture on, let me see. Unless we expect to find such mechanics and such mathematics in the law of mind and action, we cannot expect to find such a thing as a law of mind and action. That is why we say this is not a faith healing, although the faith used is a potent factor. It is done unto you as you believe. There's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. That's what Dr. Ernest Holmes says. There's nothing mysterious about the use and the correct use of mind, because we use it all the time. We direct its actions by means of our thoughts and feelings all the time. The science of mind is about doing that in a consistent and constructive manner. And when we do our daily practice diligently, conscientiously, and we create an automatic mechanism within us that turns toward the good. So we become, the idea is to be a good user, right? I was shown, or I read somewhere, did I read it? About the analogy of shopping as a way of teaching spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. So I'm going to attempt to teach you this without anything on the screen, without a whiteboard. Or you can see the teaching symbol, but knowing that I'm sharing this with you, you'll all be kind of curious to take classes after this. Maybe. But you might as well use this consciously, and that's the whole point. Okay, most of you know my license plate. Some of you, not all of you. Are you ready? Are you ready to receive? R-U-R-2-R. Some of the kids, some of the camp, I think they teach the kids, are you ready to rock? I prefer are you ready to receive, because every time someone asks me, what does that stand for, your license plate stand for? And I tell them, are you ready to receive? And I always get, oh. Or I never get, oh, what does that mean? Never. Everyone always says, oh. And they smile. Not that they've been in Stacy's Foundations class or anything. It just sounds good. But the R is, the R-U-R-2-R is an acronym for the steps of what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. Recognition is the R. Unification. Realization. 2 is thanksgiving. So, the number 2 is not, a letter, but we know what I mean. And R for release. So a lot of you have taken classes, so you know that. I remember when I found, I think I didn't discover that acronym until I was in prac training. And I was so excited, and I remember we were saying, we're going to get our license plate to say that. And I finally did, just a couple years ago. Anyway. The first, say you're going shopping. This is spiritual mind treatment. You're going shopping. You recognize the store that you want to go to. It could be online, or you actually go to the storefront. So by identifying that, you're in the recognition state, right? And then you connect online, and you actually go into the store. You're unified. That's the unification step. So next, you put in your order online, or you're in the store and you find what it is you want. That's the realization step, which will be the third step. And then you accept your purchase. Hopefully you thank the clerk, or, when you're online, you accept the purchase, you put your card number in and pay for it. And then that's the Thanksgiving. I would consider that the Thanksgiving. And lastly, you disconnect from the website, or you leave the store, and then you're done, right? So that's the release step. Now, I kind of like that analogy a little bit. But let's go a little bit further and say, sometimes you think you're ready to go shopping, but you forgot your wallet. Or you're not sure what you really, really want. Or nothing fits. Or the studs doesn't have the right size or the right color. And you're just not feeling it. You're just, you're online, and all these pop-ups keep happening, and you're just not feeling. I'm getting out here, I'm not putting my card number in there. Well, my sister, Reverend Stacy, she teaches foundations. She always says that thought, I have it wrong, and if I do, you can ask her later. Thought plus feeling plus belief equals the manifestation. So she uses this to teach treatment or affirmative prayer. So she's telling you really have to feel and know, because it helps you uncover. If you're not able to feel and know, then it's a way for you to uncover how you feel about anything, right? So if I equate that to shopping, and I don't know what I want, and nothing fits in, or I left my card, or I don't want to spend the money, or I feel like I don't have the money, then I'm just window shopping. To me, just like a spiritual mind treatment, if you don't feel it or believe it, you're just window shopping. You're not using the law, what we call the law, that Ernest Holmes says that we each have the power to use conscientiously or consciously. You're just window shopping. I'm sure there's been a time I remember in Prac training, Reverend Cynthia, our founder and my teacher, asked about a prayer, and did I have a manifestation? And I said no. And she, of course, asked me, well, why do you think that is? and I thought about it for not long, and I said, because I didn't believe it. I didn't feel it. It wasn't true for me. So yes, you can go shopping, put in your order, do all the steps. If you don't believe it, if you don't feel it, nothing's going to happen. You're just window shopping. All right? In this life, we are ever evolving. Everything is an opportunity to become more aware of how we use it. It being the law, it being the universe, it being the thing itself. And to use it consciously, abundantly, and freely, and fully, and not, as I have referred in previous talks, a willy-nilly. I promised Stacy I would only say willy-nilly once, and now I've said it twice. And just, how many times people will say to you, they just say, oh, I know. But knowing is not real until it's embodied. Oh, I know. Really, do you? I know you do, intellectually. But like I said, it's not until you embody it that it truly happens for you. We don't know why. We don't really know something until it's embodied, I promise you. Until we are living in and demonstrating it Until then, it's just a thought, an idea in our heads. Doesn't mean that we really know it. It means it's just in our heads. Again, we're just window shopping. You know, as Dave and Patty chanted this morning, we all sang that. Our thoughts are prayers. We are always praying. And it asked us to be conscious. Conscious. We were all singing that this morning. To me, in the Science of Mind textbook written by our founder, how to use it, I would sum it up as a new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into visibility through our faith in it. A new science, a new religion, and a new philosophy are rapidly being developed. This is in line with the evolution of the great presence, and nothing can hinder its progress. It is useless, as well as foolish, to make any attempts to cover this principle, or to hold it in a vested right of any religion, act, sect, or order. The truth will out. The spirit will make itself known. Happy are we if we see these things which from the foundation of the human race have been longed for by all aspiring souls. True thought deals directly with first cause, and this science is the study of first cause, spirit or the truth, that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes. The power back of creation, the thing itself. How do you use our thoughts or prayers? What are you thinking? How are you using the laws of the universe? Because they're there for you to use. Whether you use them consciously or unconsciously, they're there. They're not going anywhere. Until we humans learned that electricity existed, just because we didn't know about it and didn't use it, doesn't mean it wasn't there. When Ernest Holmes said there's a power for good in the universe and you can use it, I want you to know that you can. You can use it consciously. You can use it for good. And that word good, I don't want to say bad, but that law that we use is affirmative always. That's always going to affirm you and what you say and do and feel and think. And it's not always going to appear good, but it's always going to affirm everything that you do and say. So that's why we take classes. That's why we are teaching, and how, because we learn to practice a lot, and love a lot too. We love a lot. Remember that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know everything. Thank goodness. That's the good news. Because as a co-creator, we know that there's a universal presence that does know. So it's good to know that we don't have to know everything. Now, my favorite treatment in the first sections of the Science of Mind textbook, I'm going to read this to you. If I can remember what page this is on. I won't read the rule of 52. You'll have to get the book and read it. We can talk about it later. If it's comfortable for you, please close your eyes. Or lower them, whatever's comfortable for you. And I'm speaking for you. I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action, into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There's a power in this word that I speak because it is of the truth, and it is the truth. There is perfect and continuous right action in my life and all my affairs. All belief in wrong action is dispelled and made negative. Right action alone has power, and right action is power. And power is God, the living Spirit Almighty. This Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. They direct me and sustain me without effort. I am continuously directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to say the right word at the right time, and to follow all right course at all times. And for this I am so grateful. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. We would stand and connect. You know, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this day and this time and this existence. I know that everyone here knows that they are a divine idea in the mind of God, and that there's a power for good in the universe, and each and every one of them can use it. Use it for the good of each other and themselves. And for that, I'm so grateful. I know that everyone here today has a wonderful day. They leave here with a light heart, a happy heart, and they go to their next destination with that same feeling that will last them until they return here again. And for that, I'm grateful, and I release, and I let go, and I say, thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. All right, let's sing our peace song.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I know this in my mind. I know this in my mind. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my body. And so it is. And so it is. Have a great week.